What do you do when your company becomes embroiled in a public relations disaster? How do you respond? What do you do first? And what should you absolutely not do? Any public-facing company needs to be asking themselves these questions, as you never know when a crisis can blow up out of the blue.
In January this year, the food industry across Europe was suddenly embroiled in the horse meat scandal, when it emerged that many products advertised as beef were in fact horse. Companies from Tesco to Burger King and even IKEA were all drawn into the consumer furore that followed. And much of the drama was played out on social media.
The first thing to do is to get onto it straight away, and the second one is to apologise if you have done wrong. And Tesco did it right on all of those counts, put a full-page advert in all of the major newspapers headed "We apologise." And although Findus did apologise, it then later came out that there's been about a week's delay before they had made the decision to go public. Indeed, Burger King in the UK initially said that they weren't at fault, and then it later transpired that their supplier had got it wrong and they were at fault.
I think it's very important to show empathy and for it to be sincerely felt, and that empathy around horse meat was very sincere. Nobody was more disappointed than the people who are responsible for running our business that we'd had a product failure, and it was important that we were fulsome in the way that we described how we felt about it and what we were going to do about it.
Social media clearly plays a key role in crisis communications. Software like CrisisView, that gives you an overview of tweets coming in, can give companies an early warning of issues blowing up amongst their customers.
Something like CrisisView, which can visualise a large number of tweets on a single pane and give you an indication of when new topics pop up or change and grow and trend, is really useful in giving you that early warning that you need.
The demand for a speed of response is pretty much 15 minutes on Twitter and about an hour on Facebook. And I think because the way that consumers react on social media, that's just the way that it is now. Everything has changed, the rules have changed, brands have to monitor everything that's happening on social media, and they need to get back really quickly.
Anticipating a crisis is clearly half the battle. But when it does hit, how do you respond in a way that doesn't make things worse?
One of the most important things when dealing with a crisis is actually getting the tone right, and it will vary depending on what your brand is. So some brands really use humour to great effect, and that can very much calm down a situation, but humour is not absolutely right for every brand. For example, the banking industry, it's not appropriate, whereas telecoms industries have used humour to great effect.
The other question is how big the long-term impact of a crisis can be. People have short memories. In the aftermath of the horse meat scandal, Kantar World Panel surveyed customers on their shopping habits. In February, 19% of them said that they wouldn't buy products from companies linked to the scandal. But by the time the survey was repeated in April, only 12% said they would change their shopping habits in this way. On the other hand, if you handle the crisis badly, that does tend to be remembered.
Delay is the worst thing you can do, because people never remember the crisis itself. They remember the fact that you covered it up or you weren't competent and confident enough to come out and apologise up front.
So even now, 9 months later, you can see new tweets coming in linking Burger King to the horse meat scandal. So being fast on food but slow on social media is just not good enough. And all companies should remember that. Maya Palmer, Financial Times, London.